Hello guys, welcome to LeetCodes, and in today's video we will discuss LeetCode question 2448 that says minimum cost to make array equal. So guys, through this question we will learn about various mathematical concepts that will be applied here as well as many similar questions to this. Moreover, you will find this type of question on platforms like Codeforces and also other competitive programming platforms. So yeah guys, stick till the end and watch the complete video. Now here you would be given one nums array and each nums of I would have corresponding cost. And your task is to make all the elements of the given array equal, right? So for that you can either increment or decrement the value of that nums of I by 1, and to perform this operation there would be some cost associated. Now you need to change the values of all the nums of I to one particular element such that the cost is minimum, right? So let's say you are given this nums array and this is the corresponding cost of each element. Now if you try to make this nums array to something like say 1 1 1 1, then there is some that this will cost you, let's say, some cost x1. If you are converting it to some array like 2 2 2 2, this will cost, let's say, something like x2. So similarly you need to convert the nums array to one particular element and in such a way that it is the minimum, that it will result in the minimum cost. Okay, so let's try to solve one example for better understanding. So here you are given this nums array like this 1 3 5 and 2, and for each nums of I there is a corresponding cost. So let's say if you convert all this to 1, okay, let me just create some space here. So let's say if you convert this to 1s, then what would be the cost? So converting the first element to 1 would cost nothing. Converting the second element, that is 3, to 1, for that we need to decrement 2 times. That's why cost would be 2 multiplied by 3. So for converting 5 to 1, it will we have to decrement 4 times. So 4 multiplied by 1, and 2 must be decremented by 1, right? So 1 times 14. So summing all these things, okay, 0 plus this plus this plus this would result in some cost. Now if you want to convert to 2, it would be nothing but, so 1 would be incremented, right, 1 time. So we have to increment 1 time and that cost would be 2, plus we have to increment 0 time, plus we have to increment 1 time. No, for 3 we have to increment 1 time here. So for 3 we are decrementing 1 time. For 3 we are decrementing 1 time and that cost would be 3. Then for 5 we are decrementing 3 times. To convert 5 to 2 we have to decrement 3 times and cost is 1, and 2 is the same as 2, so we don't have to change anything. Now this will also result in the cost. So similarly we can change all the elements to 3, all the elements to 4, as well as 5, and so on, right? So we need to find what would be the minimum cost in such a way that all the elements are equal. So if you perform this, then you will find that converting all this element to 2 would result in the minimum cost of 8. So if you sum this, 2 plus 3 plus 3, so this is nothing but 8. If you see here, if you convert all the elements to 1, then it will result in 6 plus 4 10 plus 14, that is 24. And if you try to convert this to any other elements, that would result in a number or a cost greater than 8. So yeah, the best possible answer you can get here is 8, and that would be by converting all the elements to 2. So I hope you guys are now somewhat understanding of what we are trying to do in this question, that we are simply trying to change the value of all the nums of I to some particular element. For that we have to increment or decrement. Let's say we are incrementing x times, so the cost of incrementing the nums of I x times would be x multiplied by the cost, right? So yeah, we have to sum of all the cost and then we would check what is the answer. Now we try to pick some different element and try to change the all the values of nums of I to that and calculate the cost. And yeah, similarly we calculate the cost for multiple times and select the minimum one. Okay, so guys, question might be clear. Now if you take a look at the second example, all the elements are same, so we don't have to perform any operation, right? So yeah, the answer is 0. And if you look at the constraints, the n can be 10 to the power 5. Okay, so till now I hope you guys have understood the question. So let's move on to the brute force approach. Okay, so in a brute force approach, what you can do is you can take 2 for loops. Okay, and let's say so the first for loop, what you can take is takes the nums of I, okay, and store it in the x. Then this inner for loop take for each nums of j, what you do is try to calculate the cost to convert nums of j to x or to this, right? So here what we are doing is, here let's say for this 1 3 5, 2 given nums array, what we would do is we would first make an iteration and try to convert all this to 1 1 1 1, then all them to 3 3 3 3, then 5 5, then 2 2. Okay, so we are trying to convert all those numbers either to 1 3 5 and 2. See, the answer the answer that will result in the minimum cost would be by converting this nums of 5 to any one of the element that is already present. So if you want to get the minimum answer, you have to convert all this to either 1 or either 3 or either 5 or 2. So if you convert it to something, let's say 7 7 7 7, then this won't result in the minimum cost. Okay, got this? So it is very much clear that if you try to convert it to 3 or 5 or 2, then one of the times the cost would be 0. See here, when 2 is converted to 2, the cost is 0 because we don't have to make. Here when 1 is converted to 1, we don't require any cost. So yeah, the thing here is, if you try to convert all the elements to one particular element that is already present in the nums of 5, then that will surely result in some minimum answer. And if you do this and take the minimum of all these 4, that you will surely get the answer. Okay, so that's you think you can do is by taking 2 for loops, first converting all these nums of j to nums of 5, right? Means ideally we will calculate the cost instead of converting, and yeah, then second element of nums of 5 would get updated, and then yeah, and so these 4 different possibilities we would check, and that would result, and taking the minimum would get the result, right? The required result. Now this would cost us big of n square time complexity. Yeah, it was obvious. Since we are using 2 for loops, it would cost big of n square time complexity, and that will give you nothing but time limit exceeded, TLE, because the constraints are high, that are 10 to the power 5. So here we can either apply big of n, that is linear, or big of n log n. Right, this either of this might work, but big of n square will give us TLE for these constraints. Okay, now moving ahead, let me show you one mathematical concept. Let me try to introduce you one concept. That means that if you have n elements in the nums array, okay, if you sort the elements, right? See, currently just forget about the cost, just think of the nums element. So let's say if you have some elements, the same here, here what you had, 1 3 5 2. Okay, so if you have 1 3 5 2, sort it, then it would become 1 2 3 5, and take the median. Median is 2. Okay, median of this is 2. So to convert n elements of some array to some element x, so if you want to convert n elements to some element x, then x must be median of n element for minimum cost, for minimum number of operation, let's say. So here operation is nothing but incrementing or decrementing the value. See, just forget about the cost, only think of the operation. Operation is either you can increment the value or decrement the value. Okay, so and how you find the median? See guys, median is only found on the sorted array, so we would be required to sort the given nums array in order to find the median. You can't find median in unsorted array. Okay, and yeah, and if you have n elements, the median is nothing but n by 2 or n by 2 plus 1 if n is even, and if n is odd, then you can simply take n by 2. So that was median. That was the mathematical concept, that if you want to convert all n elements of the array to one particular element such that the operation is minimum, then try to convert try to choose x as a median to get the best possible answer. So for an example, you have some array, and this is the sorted array 1 2 3 4 5, and if you try to convert all this to 1, then that would, so for that, here 0 operation, here 1 operation because decrement 1 time, here 2 operation, 3 operation, 4 operation. So in total 10 operation you need to apply. So for 2, 7 operation. If you want to convert all them to 3, it will take 6 operation, and 4 will take 7, and 5 will take 10. So if you see that if you try to convert this all the elements of the nums array to some particular element, then choosing the median would result in the best possible answer, right? That is, here minimum is 6 operation, that is the minimum number of operation is required. So yeah, if by choosing the median you will get best possible answer. Got it? Clear till here? Now how you can apply this logic in the nums, in the current question where you have the nums as well as some cost associated? How will you apply that? So what you can do is, okay, before that, there is a LeetCode question 462 that is the same as this, where we have to find some convert all this element to some x in minimum number of operation. So yeah, if you guys have understood the question and the understanding part till here, then try to solve this question first, then move ahead. Okay, try to solve LeetCode 462. Now using this median concept, we will try to solve the current question. So what you can do is, so this is the given nums array and this is the cost associated. So first we will sort it. So sort on the basis of nums. So then there is 1, 2, 3 and 5. And then what we can do is we can open up this array, right? How? See, we can take the cost as frequency. See, 1 is let's say frequency of 1 is 2, 2 is 14, 3 is 3 and 5 is 1. So we have taken the cost as frequency. Why we can do this? Because for an example, if you see the converting 1, let's say if you want to decrement 1 to 0, then it will cost 2. So in other words, what we can do is we can take 1 2 times, right? Now, and take each operation and we will take the cost of each operation as 1. So now what we will do is we will take cost of each operation equals to 1. Okay, assume this cost of each operation is 1. See, instead here if we have, let's say, 1 times 1, and if you want to convert to 0 and the cost is 2, but if you have two ones and you want to convert both of them to 0, okay, and cost of each operation is 1, then also the answer would result the same. So guys, you can change the cost array to the frequency array, and yeah, you can build some input array like this. Okay, so this is now your input array. Now the question is very much easy, because we need to just find the median, right? So we will find the median. Here median is either the 10th element or the 11th element, because total elements are even, right? So that is nothing but with value 2. Value is nothing but 2 here. So yeah, what we can do is after we get the median, we will try to convert all this element to 2 and sum up and take a sum of the cost, right? Simple it is. So yeah, now then we simply take the cost to convert each element to the median. So median is 2. So this 1 is converted to 2, 2 is converted to 2, 3 is converted to 2 and 5 is converted to 2. So here this is absolute difference, okay? And if you sum of the cost, that would result in the 8. So guys, we can change the cost array to frequency array, and the resulting array would be something like this, and then take a median. So guys, now this question is easy. So if you would know earlier this mathematical concept of median, then you could have solved this question, correct? So yeah, no worries. By today you know this concept, and yeah, you can apply this concept in further questions. Now coding part is very much simple here, that we first took a pair of vector to store nums of I as well as the cost associated, then we sorted, okay, then we found that how many total elements would be there. So what would be the size of this array, right? So that we can find out by nothing but total frequency. See, this is 2 plus 14, 2 plus 14 plus 3 plus 1, this would be nothing but 20, sum of all the frequencies, and that would be the size of this new array, right? So we first calculated the total n, or the size of that, by summing up the frequencies, and then we have to stop when we find the median. So median is that is nothing but total elements plus 1 by 2. So this would be median element. So we would loop until the total number of elements we have is less than this. Okay, see, let me I'll again explain you. So in this total n would consist of nothing but 20, that is the sum of all the frequencies. Now we have to stop at the frequency 10, right? So in the current total, what we are doing, we are simply checking what is the so we are in the current total. Let's say current total will keep the track of the frequencies. So for the first element, the frequency is 2. Okay, so we updated the median to 1. Now can we loop again? Yeah, because we haven't reached up till the median. Now the second time when we loop, the current total would be nothing but 16. Now 16 is no, okay, and we update median to 2. For the third time, 16 is not less than the median element. So yeah, the median element would be the last element that we traced, and that is nothing but 2. So yeah, this is how we found out the median element, right? So instead of converting to this nums array of the size 20, what we took is we stored the how many elements would be in the new nums array, that would be 20, and then we check. Yeah, if we want to take 1, then each frequency is 2. So yeah, by taking 1 and adding the frequency to 2 in the current total, we will again loop, because we haven't reached the median. Now if you take the second element, that is 2, then its frequency is 14, and now update the median. So for the third time, since the current total is already 16, that is greater than the median element, so the last element traced would be our median, so that is 2. So 2 is our median, and yeah, we simply find the cost. So this get cost will nothing but take this mid as this median element, and then take the absolute difference and multiply the cost of the difference. Yeah, this is a simple operation. So this is the one way to solve this question. Now talking about the time and space complexity. The time complexity for this approach is big O of n square, and space complexity is big O of n. Sorry, not n square, it is n log n, my bad. It's n log of n, because we are sorting here. So this sort will take big O of n log n, and a space complexity is big of n due to this additional vector that we have took in order to solve, right? So yeah guys, this is one way to solve this question, but you can solve this question in a further with less time complexity as well as lesser space complexity by using convex function. So convex function is somewhere around this median only, means the definition of convex function has some relation with the median that we use in the first approach. So let's see how this convex function works. So let's say you have some function y is equal to f of x. So y is nothing but here the final cost, and x is nothing but the values, final values of nums, and this f of x would give us the cost by converting all the element to some x. Okay, so this is a convex function. Now if you try to see the graph of convex function, it would be something like this. So so this would be the maximum value. At first it would be maximum value, then it will decrement to up some until some point, and then also again it will increment. So this point is a point where you will get minimum cost or the minimum value of y, and at this point x would be the median value. So this would be the median value, and at that point you will get the minimum cost. So if you take a look for the given example, so you had what? You had 1, 3, 5 and 2. 1, 3, 5, 2. Now if you see the answer for 1, it would be here, some maximum value. 1 will result in some maximum value. 5 would result in some maximum value. So these two are the extreme. But if you would check the answer for 2, it would be the minimum here. So this is how the convex function graph looks like. Okay, where the value starts from some extreme, it reduces and then it again increases, and at the lowest point we will get at the median of x, and that the cost would be minimum. Okay, clear this concept? Okay, now also we can check one thing, that at the minimum, if like for any element or any point of x, what can be the values on the left and right of x. So let's say if you have x here and x plus 1 here, and if you check the value of x plus 1 and compare it with x, so let's say if f of x is less than f of x plus 1, that means cost at the point x is less than x plus 1. See, you can clearly see this cost is less than this, right? This is less than this. Then in that case you can conclude that the minimum point would be on the left. See, then in this case minimum is here. If at x cost is lesser than x plus 1, then the minimum is here. Or and the second case would be if you have some, let's say x here, cost of x is something like this, and cost of x plus 1 is here. Then here you can see that f of x is greater than x plus 1. In that case your answer would be towards the right of x. Okay, towards the right, because it is here. So this is the x axis and this is the cost axis. Here cost is increasing, and here you see, sorry, here x is increasing, and here you see the for x plus 1 the cost is lesser. This is the lesser cost. So you can conclude that the minimum element would be on the right hand side, towards the right of x. So what this is telling us to do, this shows us that if we have some x or the mid value and compare with the mid plus 1, then we can know that either we have to move towards the left or the right. So left means decrement the x, left means decrement the x, and right means increment the x. Okay, so we can try searching for a value of x by comparing with a x plus 1 and then move left and right. So now guys, what is this thing? This is nothing but a binary search. In binary search, what we do, we find a value for the mid and then either go towards the left or right. And the same thing we can do here, because now we know that either we have to increment the x or decrement the x based on this condition, right? Because our graph is a convex function. Okay, so first thing that is clear. The second thing is we now know either we have to move towards the left or the right based on comparing with x plus 1. Got it? So yeah, doing that same thing we can easily write our binary search code. There is nothing new here. So we took the lower and the upper limit. That is what we do in binary search. The lower limit would be nothing but the minimum element from all the nums, and the upper limit would be the maximum element. Now then we calculate the mid, that is the mid of L and high, lower and the high. Then we get two answers at mid and mid plus 1. As we saw here, we will try to find answer or the cost for x and x plus 1. So this will give us the cost. Now and then we will also update the answer to minimum of both the cost. Then we would check if cost at mid is greater than mid plus 1. Okay, cost at mid is greater than mid plus 1, then move towards the right. Okay, move towards the right, nothing means increment the left, right? Left limit to mid plus 1. Okay, and the else condition, decrement the higher limit to mid. This is what we do in a fundamental binary search, right? So the same thing we did here, but the important point was to understand the condition of how to move left and right. Yeah, that was the important point to be noted here. And yeah, I hope you guys have understood both the approaches till now, and if you have still any doubts, then do let me know in the comment section. Now talking about the time and space complexity, the time complexity here would be n log of k, where k is the minimum number of operation you are performing, and space complexity here would be big of 1, as yeah, we are not storing anything. So yeah guys, that's all for this video. If you guys have still any doubts, then do let me in the comment section. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.